listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Well, we've had some outside world, if you'd like to kick off with that,
I
Frank.
always like to hear what's going on out there.
Yeah.
You know, me and David Baddiel once had golf lessons in Portugal.
Did you?
You starting with the showbiz anecdote?
Yeah.
From 1997.
It involves golf.
It's like Ronnie Corbett or something.
And this bloke was teaching us.
Oh, yeah.
And he was...
Tarbuck.
And he was talking about, the golf, obviously. And he'd say, I show you how to do this, but when you're out there, sometimes it's different. And he used to talk about the golf course like it was the Somme.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yes, it's different out there. Very melodramatic, man.
It's like he spoke in movie taglines.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had a big mo from Jack McLean.
We should say that a big mo is, it's a big moment, isn't it? And it's when you tell someone something that you think no one knows, and lots of people know it.
Everyone knows it. Morning, Divine Miss M, Alan and Frank. I'm hoping to make it into Alan's FNT. That's the Friday night trawl.
Indeed.
With a big moment. Did you know that Les Dawson was actually a really good piano player?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
I think, have we had this one before?
Oh, we might have.
I don't know.
You know what? It stands. I like that.
I know.
one.
It's a good one. That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of double bluffed that. I'm wondering if he was.
Oh, really?
Oh. Well, he just told people he was.
No, I think he probably was all right, and he deliberately played badly. But I bet if you'd have said play brilliantly, he might have been. He might
still have played a bit
But
badly.
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, for goodness sake.
Never understood that rule.
What, not speaking ill of the dead?
Yes, it's a stupid rule. It's the best time to speak ill of people. You've all got carte blanche to be really horrible about me when I shuffle on.
We won't wait.
No, I'd rather you waited. That's my very point.
What about the Adolf Hitler caveat?
Yeah.
What a band they were.
I think he might be the exception.
Yeah.
They sound very East London, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they...
Craft beer.
Yeah.
I had an idea,
Don't exaggerate.
Every now and again you have an idea and you think, is that a good idea? And then you think, I think that might be a terrible idea. I sometimes don't know if my ideas are good or terrible.
What about when Frank said don't exaggerate? I love that. That's like my old maths teacher.
So
I've just thought of something.
I want to hear Alan's idea.
Okay.
I feel a bit like it might be a really awful idea. Like we have Big Mo's and we have stuff come in that people suggest.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened to's and stuff.
I've never been so anxious.
Is there a thing that we can do that goes something like, you're getting old when...
No, that there isn't a thing we can do. It's like that. You mean like Dennis Snowden? You know you're middle-aged when...
Yes.
That one. Yeah.
All right. Oh, good. My instincts were right. I've had a terrible idea.
I think we...
Thought for a second it was a good one. And then I thought, no, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, it needs...
I haven't even done it yet.
Yeah, it needs workshopping. You know you're mortal when...
But I love the way Al delivered it. Because it was the coyness of someone who's not fully confident in the idea.
Oh.
No, true.
Yeah.
He covered his bases.
There was a bit of me that was excited about the good one and terrified about it. This might be terrible. And I was right to be.
Of course, it'll be all over Capital next week. Because I've heard a lot of Capital presenters listen to this show just with a notebook.
Oh, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, you're desperate. Absolutely desperate.
They must be.
For ideas of any kind. And not just Capital. I'm just giving them as a par example.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Just checking to see if we've had any, you're getting old when... stuff.
Funnily enough, Al, they're not coming in.
They're not coming in?
But I tell you what, we
just because you guys nipped it in the bud.
What about you're
so
not getting old?
vehemently.
We nipped it in the Zola.
If we could put you're blank when that would be different.
Well, it wouldn't, because that was blankety blank.
No, it depends.
Essentially.
No, we fill in the blank.
Oh, okay. Oh, we say the blank.
So you know you're illiterate when you can't
send this message.
No, yeah, exactly. No, that won't work. I don't think you can talk about being illiterate anymore, can you?
Are you not allowed?
No, I think
another of life's pleasures
I
gone.
think you have to pretend that everyone's brilliant.
Okay.
I think that's the deal now.
I will do no such thing.
It's a policy I've adopted for safety. Everyone's absolutely amazing.
We've had a strange incident this morning.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to christen it the curious incident involving Ice-T and Frank Skinner.
Ice-T?
Are you familiar with the work of Ice-T?
Yeah,
well, that Ice-T?
Yes, that's Ice-T.
Yes, of
I thought
course.
you meant it had been a spillage.
No. Well, he's liked a tweet about you.
That can't be the Ice-T.
It is the Ice-T, I've checked. Would you like to hear more?
Are you sure
Have
it's
you
not
worked with him?
It's not someone from Twinings.
No. The Ice-T has liked a tweet about Frank Skinner.
Okay.
Do you want to know what the tweet is?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay.
Does it begin, you know you're getting old when, ... And is it a quote?
I have to let this go.
Is it guess who visited Pope's Grotto this week?
What if Ice-T's listening now? Don't bring out the Pope's Grotto
yeah.
stuff.
Sorry, Ice.
It's okay.
He might not
He's
like that.
obviously
Okay, bright chap. So this is from Kyle. He said, I would love it if this interaction between Ice-T and Boise could be shown to Frank before tomorrow's show. Well, on tomorrow's show. Partly because it might make Frank see that Twitter is all right.
Okay.
But mostly because I like how he says Boise.
Okay.
Do you say it in a particular way? I'll explain. I just did a little funny
little
noise in my
reverse
mouth.
burp.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
No, I didn't like that at all.
I couldn't control
I heard
it.
You know you're getting old when
lost control.
your throat starts
it.
making strange noises of its own accord.
I wasn't going to mention it until you did.
Well, I know, but I don't want to continue now. I've lost my confidence.
Oh, come on, don't lose your confidence.
Okay, I won't. So,
She's back.
John Chalice.
Can I just tell you what I've always thought was the definition
Yes.
of confidence?
on.
W.H. Auden, the poet, when he was a child, he was given a £5 note for his birthday, which then was big money. And he went off across the fields with his friends, and they realised that he'd dropped his £5 note, and all his friends went into a massive panic. And the young Auden said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get it on the way back." And when they walked back across the fields, there it was, just blowing about. So we picked it up.
Wow.
And I thought, whoa,
Yeah.
that's a confident young bloke, or
Yeah.
a bloke who's got a few bob in the family.
Yeah.
Al,
Sorry.
you ever done that, Al?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
No. I don't think I've ever dropped a £5
I think Al did get a court order to stop following W.H. Auden after the story came out. Anyway, let's see the.
But meanwhile, over at Ice-T's crib,
Yeah.
So what happened? Ice-T had originally tweeted, "I'm 60. You're a little kid," to someone who said they felt old at the age of 52.
Oh, okay. Ice-T's 60.
Yeah, and already enjoying the friendship. You can
Yeah.
bond over that.
Wow.
And John Chalice responded and said, "I've just turned 76. You're but a spring chicken," etc. And then someone, when this man tweeted about
That's a
you,
bit dark. It's a bit poison chalice.
Ice-T liked the tweet about you. The tweet urging you to enjoy Twitter and say Boise. Because I believe John Chalice has become friends with Ice-T now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is strange.
Yeah.
When do I ever say Boise?
I don't know.
Just then.
You just said it.
Do you think
This
they've
whole
got
thing's a
me
trap.
mixed up with Jason Manford? I bet he says Boise on a regular basis. On a regular
Possibly.
basis.
Well,
It's the closest I've ever got to Ice-T anyway.
yeah, exactly. He
Although
could be a
I
nice friend for you,
I was
Frank.
once at what's it called? Planet Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were joined by Robert Downey Jr., who was drinking, what are those things called? New England iced teas, are they?
Oh, Long Island.
Long Island
iced
iced
teas.
tea, yeah.
Boozy.
Yeah, he was quite Boise. No, he was devil may care in his attitude.
Was he?
But nice,
Really?
but very off the planet.
I thought you were going to say
But that was
wagon.
it. What are they called? Long Island iced tea.
Long
I don't
Island
even know
iced
what.
teas,
He
darling.
said, I'm drinking Long Island iced tea, and I thought, well, how have you got like that? I thought it was like that. You know, those cans of iced tea you can buy with lemon. But it did the trick for old for Bobby D.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I went to Daunt Books this week.
Oh, yeah.
You're familiar with that chain?
See them a lot as a canvas bag,
The
don't you?
tote.
Oh, it's a very... I know the woman who did the drawing for that canvas bag.
Strange name drop.
Worked with them all, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Except iced tea, apparently.
Iced tea 1 minute.
I've never worked with iced tea.
Yes.
Actually, I did have a week work experience at Lipton's. But so I went to, you know, they have these events where people who've got a book out go and talk about their book.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking events, like a book talk.
Spoken word.
Spoken word.
Yeah.
And
Heard
who
of
was it?
It was John Harris Dunning. No, he's written a
Doctor Who?
He's written no, not this time.
I just thought.
He's written a graphic novel called Tumult, which is set in the area around where my house is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really quite close. The Environs,
Right.
another great band, and you know, there's nothing. I don't know about you, but you know, some people love watching stuff like Blue Planet 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or what was that? Sue Perkins on the Ngongo River.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sue Perkins Mekong. What's it called?
Something
that
like
show?
that, yeah.
Mekong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I never am more excited on television than if I see something that's very close to my own house.
Oh, yes. You've always loved that.
Much more
Yeah.
interesting than some tribe in Sumatra.
Yeah.
See, that's that laundrette. Look from down the road. I find that absolutely exhilarating.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's kind of nice to have a book that's got. I think that's. So I'm loving that for a start off.
Good.
And it's. I like a bookshop, as you know. I must have told you the time I was in Waterstones. There's a woman in with what looked like her granny, and the granny said, "Well, look at all the books in here." She said it's like a library. And I thought, that's not a bad simile for a bookshop. It does look a little bit like a library. I'll give you that, girl. So I went to this thing, and when you're at those things, you always feel a bit exclusive. Because most people obviously are watching
Do you?
Yeah, because people are watching Emmerdale.
Okay.
And you're listening to someone talk about a graphic novel.
So
And did
feel-
you go Han Solo or did you go with Kath?
No, I went Han Solo.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know anyone who'd go with me.
No, I don't either.
I think that's the sort of thing that you could attend alone, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
fine to attend
Yeah.
it alone. I wasn't the only one, let's put it that
book
way.
tour.
No, it's...
Yeah, so it's about the book's part. I'm not going to give the game away because I did buy the book on the night.
Right,
Okay.
no
I'll
spoilers.
tell you what they did was a very clever idea, which I think we could all learn from, anyone who's in the entertainment business.
Why not?
Okay.
Got my
During-
pencil at the ready.
Al has actually got
do you do merchandise at your gigs?
No, there's no demand for Alan Cochrane tickets, let alone merchandise.
Oh, come on, that isn't
Putting
true.
yourself down.
That simply is not true.
All right, I'll get on to mouse mats and...
I think I'd have an Alan Cochrane mouse mat.
Well,
if they
I'll
were-
tell you what I'm seeing.
people still use mice? Is that
Hang on
happening?
a second. No, I'm seeing,
Oh.
because of your Nordic chic, there's a Scandi vibe. I'm thinking some sort of Nordic sweater with your face on it, knitted Alan face. I'd buy that. Wear that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Mugs.
Yeah, if they buy
Yeah.
them, they are mugs.
And you could always claim it was Jens Martin Knudsen, the Faroe Islands goalkeeper, who used to wear the white woolly hat. It's got that kind of look to it.
Yeah.
But I forgot what I was saying.
No, you were talking
You've
about
been asking me about
merchandise.
Oh, yeah, so what
Yeah.
they did, while we was watching it,
Yeah.
they passed the book round.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I've never known that before at a book event. So the book actually got, like when the plate goes around at church, you know. Yeah.
No.
So, trust me.
Yeah.
And so you end up...
Were you going to write in it or something?
just to have a little look at the book while they're talking about it.
Was it just the one book going round?
Yeah, just the book he was talking
Bit
about.
tight.
No, but I thought it was a clever idea.
Right.
Because after it had gone past, I thought, if I don't buy that book now, I'm going to be watching the telly tonight and I'll have my hands formed in such a way that I'll still be able to feel it.
Yeah.
I'll miss it at home. So consequently, I bought it. So I'm thinking, like, if you were queuing at the butcher's, say, and they passed around a leg of lamb, around the queue, I reckon you'd feel that leg of lamb. You know, it's all a bit clammy against the hands.
Yeah.
And think, might a nice leg of lamb tonight. I honestly think it would work.
Yeah.
But I'm loving this idea, which I think is a great marketing strategy in itself, is place names mentioned in the books. Because then something for everyone. Yeah,
well, it doesn't really. It's not so much that he does the place names, but because it's a graphic novel, it's got in the pictures you can see that stuff.
I mean, if it was just on place names selling books, you'd think they'd sell a lot more maps than they do, wouldn't you?
Brighton Rock, you'd think that.
Yeah. And Atlases fly out the shops.
Lonely Planet, you think they'd sell more.
Canterbury Tales, that'd do well.
Canterbury Tales. Yeah, but once everyone in Canterbury's got one, how many people say?
Oh, yeah.
Just visitors.
That old coffee table.
Yeah, you want something called something like The Road.
Oh, that did well. That did do well.
Well, there you go.
That's what Cormac McCarthy thought. Anyone who lives in a road is going to buy this.
Local material.
Yeah.
Always goes down well.
Yeah, Jack Kerouac on the road. Yeah, they've just taken absolute advantage.
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie. Anyone who's got a house can be able to identify with that.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
So this book is about a woman with a multiple personality disorder, one of the characters in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Tumult.
Right.
And I remember in the days when you could, the jokes about these things, I used to do a joke that there was a woman I knew with a multiple personality disorder, but she couldn't be on Twitter because she had more than 140 characters.
Yeah.
But I think Twitter's gone up now, hasn't it?
It has,
yes, it's
so 280.
Oh, you
280.
say? Yeah, I don't think people have. And isn't it a sad thing when a joke's getting old? Yay! Here we go. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know, a joke's getting old. Like one of the greatest jokes ever. I went out with
Here we go.
I went out with a mermaid once. Fantastic figure, 36.24 and 3 and 6 a pound.
Yeah.
Gone now because 3 and 6 a pound. If you change it to decimal money, it doesn't have the rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even your brilliant observation about supporting your football team, which you always, I believe you said you need two things, a ruler and an atlas.
A to Z, I think.
A to Z.
No one uses A to Z.
But no one knows A to Z or ruler, really.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I was on a tram. Remember that one? I was on a tram, and a woman fell asleep.
Yeah.
Now, is this right? No.
I don't like the sound of this story.
Bloke was on a tram, and he fell asleep, and then the tram suddenly jolted, and he landed on this woman.
Yeah.
And he landed on her belly, and he said, "Is this Maid of Ale?" And she said, "No, I'm 4 months pregnant."
Alan likes that one.
But Maid of Ale is an area in North London, a large conurbation in the southeast of England.
And ale is beer.
But could also be, yes, could be.
No, a joke's getting old when it needs footnotes. But I could easily tell that joke with a boss, but because I heard it as a tram, I don't know, I've always told it as a tram, but you get trams now. Don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trams
they all come back in the end.
Scotland, yeah.
I don't know if you still get mermaids.
Don't know how they're doing.
I'm fascinated by mermaids.
I think with the overfishing thing.
Yeah, that's it. They've been overfished.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd recommend this book. It's actually brilliant. And I don't have any connections. I paid for my ticket.
Got no skin in the game.
I paid for my ticket. I paid for the book. You know what I mean? I've got no things. But Tumult, by John Harris Dunning. I'm completely hooked on it.
Oh.
In fact, I'm on my second read.
Are you?
2 reads.
2 reads.
Yeah.
2 reads in a fountain. Come on, everybody. I can't start a thing because...
Why?
Is he scratching?
I was
He always does that. It's because we had iced tea earlier.
I don't know what it is in this room, but I scratch quite a lot on here. If ever you're listening to the podcast and you hear that,
I think it's mice.
That's me. I mean,
That's me.
the skin cells on this mic muff,
Oh, yeah.
they don't bear thinking about. It looks like it's been frosted. But it means that someone could take it and clone me.
Oh, like the Barbara Streisand dogs.
Like a woman I was going out with said to me, we had quite a big row, and she said
I
to
find
me,
that very hard to believe.
she said to me, I can make you love me forever because I've kept your fingernails.
Thought you sound relieved.
Apparently they were in her back. But she kept them, and she said she could do a spell that would make me love her forever. That's honestly what she said.
Yeah.
No, that didn't work.
I'm not sure it's helpful, that.
Hey?
I'm not sure it's helpful what she said.
What? No. It put me off a bit. I'll be straight with you.
In terms of changing one's mind.
I don't want to go with anyone who begins, I can do a spell. I mean, no disrespect.
You lost me at spell.
No disrespect to any sorcerers or witches who are listening. But to me, I don't know, it made me uneasy. To me, the balance of power suddenly swung. I don't want to be someone who can hold that over me.
No.
So we didn't last much longer after that. She certainly took against the docking stool.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a missive in. An email, I'll be honest.
Okay. I had a submissive in a week.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, so I will warn you, but it's about you, Frank. It's about you.
Okay.
You've been
I like
spotted.
I like it so far. It's strange and it's about me. It's my dream.
It's entitled Frank's Strange Behaviour at Train Station.
Oh, I mean, this is real gather round the fireside time for me, I've got to say.
Depends when it's dated.
Now, I might misread this because there's a few bits where, sometimes computer screens replace apostrophe S with, like, Euro signs and TMs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it happens on this.
You're getting old.
Was I spotted on one of those things where you go up and down like a pump the machine and make it go along the railway track like Laurel and Hardy used
that
to
would
do?
be good.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. On my way home from work this evening in a nice part of North London. Oh, get you.
Oh, yeah.
I was sat on the London Overground when the train pulled into Hampstead Heath Station and a certain Mr. Frank Skinner got on. Too nervous and not wanting to bother Frank, I didn't approach him. When the train got to Highbury, Frank got off the train and I thought I'd get off too and ask for a photo with the legend.
Oh.
Only for Frank to walk towards the exit, then do a U-turn and walk to the opposite end of the platform stop and look at his phone for 2 minutes, then cross over to the opposite platform and head towards the exit again, just on a different platform. Not sure if Frank was using Google Maps to get out of the station or just trying to be covert. I never got a photo though. Huge fan. Oh, that's all some praise.
Right. Al, I know what this is.
It's the old military training, always running a zigzag.
Can I just say,
in case they're shooting at you.
There is a PS.
Go on.
Frank's skin was immaculate for a man who has a free bus pass. There you go.
Do you know he looks great? I told you he's found his look.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Now, Al,
that's the only thing I've found in recent times.
You and I
think we should leave this because the fezzes are right. Let's leave it as a cliffhanger.
Puzzling what you were up to.
Exactly. It's a very accurate description of my movements, I must say.
Well, I've got a sort of grassy knoll theory on this, which I'd like to put forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Emily say she got a grassy knoll?
Yes, I did.
Well,
just,
that's changed.
Okay.
All the standards have dropped on this show generally.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. I wonder how much longer we'll be saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Before emails is like getting a Xerox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're on a cliffhanger. I've been
yes.
spotted at a railway
I'd
station.
go further than spotted. I'd say you were studied in some detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it took
And in fact, you were followed.
I mean, that email, you say email, I say dossier.
yeah.
Oh, I love the word dossier.
Dossier?
Yeah. Yeah, well, what happened was I was
It
changing...
sounded like he was making up a story there.
I was changing trains, and I completely lost faith in where I was going and what platform it was on. So even though I was in the station, I Googled the railway line to find out what platform. So that's why I stopped. And I mean, I was standing 50 yards from the platform, Googling which platform it was. But I just didn't. I thought if I start looking at signs and stuff, I'm going to get what I believe the term is discombobulated.
I love that you describe it as a loss of faith, like Graham Greene or something. It's a tune.
But you know, I get lost so often.
I can't believe that you were sitting on this story and yet you shot down the idea of you get old when ...
But I was like...
You're sitting on a primary example. This is
Let's
a great
face it.
example.
No, but I got lost walking from my auntie Ethel's, who lived 4 streets away, when I was about 8,
Oh, okay.
and I was lost for 2 hours.
What do you think that is, Frank? Because I've got to be honest, as a friend who loves you, and this comes from a very positive, good energy, I'm communicating this to you.
Yes.
But it is odd. I mean,
I have a
sometimes
theory.
we're
I have a
walking down. How long have we been going, Daisy, to that restaurant where we have breakfast in that direction down that? Is it about 10 years now? And he never knows whether to turn left or right.
I know, it's a problem. When I walk out with Kath, she does enormous gestures left and right, so I know which way to go as we walk
Traffic
along.
controller.
To stop me from walking into her by turning the wrong way. I mean, I spoke to a psychologist I met at a party,
Yeah.
and she said it's because I didn't crawl when I was a baby. That
Didn't
was her
crawl?
thing. Yeah. 'Cause some
Made up for it in your 20s.
Oh, I did, yeah. Oh, yeah, but it's too late to get it back. You can't claw it back. So some babies, they sit and then one day they stand up and they're off.
And
They don't go through the crawling
you were that
phase.
guy.
And it's during the crawling phase, apparently, that you develop your sense of direction.
Wow.
That was her theory, but, everyone's got a theory nowadays about something.
I think it might be because you're a thinker. Because I've come across this with thinkers. My father was one. There's too much going on. You can't be worried with directions.
I think that's closer to it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that one better.
Okay.
There's I know you love it when American comedy gets quoted. There's an episode of The Simpsons where
Oh, I love that one.
Goodness sake.
Homer Simpson goes
The Simpsons.
to a wine tasting course and forgets how to drive because his head's so full of stuff that if
Yeah.
you put more in, stuff goes out. I think that might be what happens with
Yeah.
you because, you go to talks.
Oh, that's what it is.
There's no room for
Like, to too many talks. Pope's Grotto.
Yeah.
I was at Samuel Johnson's
your
house.
head's
That's
full
week.
of other stuff. There's no room for spatial awareness.
Last night I was at Benjamin Britten's Paul Bunyan.
Were you?
Yeah, the opera, yeah. Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
I
cut
need
back.
to. There used to be a theory at school that if you put the book you were trying to swat up on under your pillow,
Yes, I
the
remember
next
that.
day-
Still going in my day, that one.
so if I put an A to Z under my pillow,
Nice.
No, don't clutter
That
your
could
your
work.
mind up with street names.
no, I
You
don't.
need to focus on
I could do the knowledge.
big matters.
Can you imagine how long it would take me to do the knowledge? Oh, it doesn't bear thinking of. I hate that it's called the knowledge. That's not what I call knowledge. Sorry, but
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
your way.
No, but they've got clever questions. They do like a quiz. I
They
know
have
this.
got good
They have
questions.
Take Me from Sun Street to Moon Street. Great
Oh,
question.
that's a good. I like that.
Well, a cab driver told me that. So actually, I think
From
it would be.
Sun Street to Moon Street. Is that
Yeah.
it just means wait until it gets dark?
No, I don't think it's a metaphor.
Well, it's a bit great. Someone said, "Can you take me to Moon Street, please?" And you just sat there for ages. I just, what are you doing? You said, I thought it was a metaphor. Sorry, mate.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I think it's time we gave the Kim Kardashian some airtime.
Yeah, she doesn't get enough.
She leads a life of quiet solitude and reflection these days. She
will do that, you know. She'll be one of those people who gets a cottage in Wales.
Do you think she'll do a
She'll
Salinger?
find herself, yeah.
Oh, I hope
She'll
she
go
does.
to the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi if he was still alive. Like what the Beatles did.
Yeah.
That's my verdict.
You know, J.D. Salinger is sort of, as Frank would say, he's in the recluse chair, isn't he?
He is actually all right still.
That's who people joke about. But
Yeah.
I read that he's not a recluse, that he
He's
just
dead.
doesn't do
He's
media.
dead.
Oh no, he
Isn't
died sometime.
He's
Yeah,
dead, is he?
I believe.
Yeah, sorry. So he's a recluse. He lives alone in a.
But when he
in
was a recluse,
a wooden
as it were.
apartment.
Yeah.
When he was a recluse, apparently he wasn't a recluse. He just didn't do media, and so they say that he's a recluse.
Well, I
but he
have
talked to his neighbours and stuff.
Well,
I have a contribution about
do you?
J.D. Salinger, which
hang on, hot JD Salinger news
no, I can't
What
actually
the-
put it on here because
on here.
Is
I
it
think
vulgar?
he wasn't a recluse.
No,
but
I
the
know what you're gonna
evidence for
say.
him not being a recluse
It's
was-
not great.
It's not
tricky.
breakfast radio.
And I'm aware of the evidence.
I think I remember it
Do
too.
you remember? Are we
I
all
think so,
familiar with the
yeah.
evidence?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he was, yes.
Okay. So
I think he was still involved with the student community.
Legend!
active in the student body. So Kim Kardashian has apparently.
That's what you are, Kim Kardashian. Do you think Kanye ever does that in the morning? Kim Kardashian.
I think he might.
I think he's
He
quite
seems-
tortured, Kanye, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he a Trump apologist?
Yes, she is as well, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway,
We're all different.
exactly. She has recruited a selfie assistant. It's a member of her crew. And when I say that, I mean her literal filming crew. I'm not trying to be cool.
No.
But she went to the doctor and she was told that she'd incurred a wrist injury for taking too many selfies. And she had Paxi, who's one of the crew members on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Who used to host Newsnight? I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah. God, he's gone down a bit, hasn't
No,
he?
he's quite happy in it. He's enjoying
Is
it.
he really?
He sees it as being like a sort of twilight of his career and
But he
less
must-
pressurised than
He
it
must
used to be.
wince every time he's called Paxi.
Yeah,
Can
he
you
doesn't like
imagine?
that.
Oh, I'll call him that even more then. I wonder if he's taken to sort of... He has to do dress down, his look as well. No suits now. What does
Yeah.
he go for? Maybe a V-neck or something?
He's
no.
he's got a Berghaus fleece that he uses quite a lot, I think.
I don't
And a
think he has
Timberland
to
boot.
white
Yeah.
Nehru jacket and white trousers like a proper houseboy look. Anyway, can I say, one could sit back and condemn
Yeah.
KK for this.
Yeah.
But it is, I had shoulder problems, and it was my theory that I had so many photos took with people with my arm round them that I actually hurt my shoulder.
Is it genuine?
Really?
That's
Honestly,
your theory.
that's my theory.
That's
I
a
see
good
you are not.
No,
convinced.
not at all. I'm more convinced than you think I am, I think.
Well,
Did you get
I
that a
told
lot,
Jimmy Carr this, and he absolutely poo-pooed it
Oh, that's
completely.
a shame.
But I'm just wondering if I get more photo requests than he does, and that was the problem.
Oh, no.
And also, I love Jimmy Carr, but he doesn't have shoulders, so he's not
Right.
going to have that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the sort of man, if I was in trouble, I feel I could go to him, but I'd end up crying on his neck.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he
so-
wouldn't accept it. He said, no, that you
shoulder ache.
need to do millions of photos to do that. But I honestly think
Did you
that's how
feel
I got
it
it.
more... during the Three Lions period, you must have had a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It was. I think.
I
it
mean,
was,
the recent one.
I think it was, the continual wear and tear over a period of years.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining,
No.
I mean, I love a photo with someone, but
So it was an RSI.
And often they're quite tall. And to be honest, the national obesity crisis hasn't helped.
No.
Because I'm reaching a lot further than I used
Imagine
to.
if you lived in Wyoming.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm overreaching in lots of. So yeah, I mean, I got it. I saw an acupuncturist in Osaka, and he put it right.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So anyone listening, that's useful. Fly to Osaka.
No, yeah,
if you've got any
Osaka's,
RSI problems.
The way forward. But can I say I got my injury from embracing others, not from celebrating my own beauty.
Well, her mother...
I said beauty.
Her mother, Kris Jenner, are you familiar with her? She's the really warm, maternal...
Is that Chris with a K?
Yeah. She seems lovely, really nice woman, she seems like.
That's the one they call she's their manager.
Momager.
And they call her Momager. I
They
like
call
that.
her Momager?
Momager.
I didn't know that. I like that.
That I like.
Self-styled momager.
Is there a Kardashian dad?
Yes.
Yes.
There was the original Kardashian who was... are you familiar with him? He was O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
Yeah.
What,
He was
her
kind of a
dad?
big
Yes.
deal.
Yeah.
I never
Is it
knew
Robert
that.
Kardashian?
This is a big moment.
Yeah.
And then obviously
He's a pretty big deal.
the other
Wow.
two, their father is Caitlyn Jenner. You're familiar with
Her
Caitlyn
father
Jenner?
is Caitlyn Jenner.
Was Bruce
Oh yeah, well,
Jenner.
I remember.
I've got a pencil and paper. I'll work you through it
can
during
do
a
the
long
family
song
tree.
if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what the tense you're supposed to use on this, but I remember
Okay.
in the Olympics,
Yes.
there being a Bruce Jenner.
Okay,
was
that's now
brilliant.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Well, that's
Navigated that,
that's
okay.
the Kardashian family tree. I did not know the O.J. Simpson lawyer.
She said to her daughter about the selfie incident, "You don't want to be out of commission." I love it when a mother says that.
Yeah.
That's also what my agent said to me the other day.
Can I say though? Surely the definition of a selfie is a photograph took by oneself.
But
Yeah.
quite.
So if
So
someone
now
else,
she's
that's
just got
a sort of a themsy
Yeah.
that she's got. Yeah, exactly. What she's got is a photographer.
Yeah.
That's not a new idea.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're discussing Kim Kardashian
We're discussing Kim Kardashian.
/ JJ Salinger / Ice-T here today on Absolute Radio. I think you're right. I think you've stumbled on the problem that I have with this, which is that she hasn't hired a selfie taker because that can only be herself.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
She's hired a photographer.
What about
which
if she
has existed
hired
a million years?
if she hired a sort of a body double person? Actually, it wouldn't have to be that. You know when you get those...
What do you mean?
You know when you get those theatre group people and they're wearing black polo neck jumpers?
Oh, yes.
And one of them stands with the arms through the other one's arms.
Yes.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
used to
I
make
know.
them like smoke cigarettes
Yeah.
and slap themselves around the
Oh,
face.
that's
You know
funny.
that
Yeah.
trick?
That is a fun thing.
That's what she needs.
I love that.
I would accept that more as a
I
selfie.
really like that, though.
Yeah, haven't seen that for years.
Alan looks so happy at the
He does.
memory
I
of
get the
that.
feeling that.
And do you remember when there used to be proper adverts on the tube and people would put chewing gum and it would look like snot coming out of a nose on a model's face or
You
something
know,
like
that
that?
always made my day.
Oh, I found that really
about
funny.
Especially if it's a really beautiful model. Take
Yeah.
themselves that little bit seriously.
Really
I
funny.
thought, look what
gonna
you're
go.
reduced to.
I'm going to go that further. What about the pencil moustache on the beautiful model? That's faded.
Good times.
Somewhat. Actually, I was
Don't
going
use that catchphrase.
I had
Associated with other people. Okay.
I was going to ask. I was going to ask Al this.
Oh, yeah.
Parking lights.
Parking lights.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
So people would park and they'd put a parking light on, and it's like one light on the back of the car.
Is that right?
And the idea, I think it's because there was so much drink driving then in the
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Midlands. The idea that people they'd see your car so they wouldn't drive into it, even though it was parked in the proper place.
Yeah, I think there are still parking lights on
they
cars.
still exist?
I think
Hang
they're
on.
still there.
Are you suggesting
Just one light.
the light stayed on whilst you
Yeah.
exited the vehicle?
The
Yeah,
light
yeah.
stayed on all night
No.
to stop
Yeah.
people driving it. Like, you know when you see cranes with those red lights
Like
on to
Canary
stop,
Wharf.
Yeah, to stop aeroplanes flying in.
Yeah.
Well, cars would have a little, just one light at the back on the wing that was nearest the road
It's extraordinary.
to stop people from driving into
Don't
their
know.
car.
I like that the onus is on the parked vehicles.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
people driving into
Well,
them.
I do think it was to do with the preponderance of
I really-
drink driving.
I really hope we've got someone from the advanced motoring organisations that.
Well, you're our motoring correspondent. I thought you might be able to give me the
I am,
answer.
but I feel slightly out of my depth here. But
Okay.
Well, if someone could get in touch, anyone who's familiar with the phrase
There might be
Smidsy,
Smidsy,
they'll know
yeah.
who they are.
Excellent.
Do you remember that one, Frank? I was taught it.
Smidsy? No.
Yeah. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you.
Oh.
happens at junctions a lot. For
Yes.
Cyclists and motorcyclists.
Do people actually say Smidsy?
Yeah.
I have never
No,
heard
they
that.
say
People
sorry,
in the
mate, I
driving
didn't see you.
community,
Oh, they don't say
reflect-
Smidsy.
And then bikers and insurers say, "Oh, this is a smidsy."
they call it a Smidsy case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what an education this programme is. Not always funny, but always educational.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, yeah, there was another Kim thing, which I thought,
You sound like Donald Trump.
yeah, which was a kind of a, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not just the nuclear.
Just one more thing, Kim.
She, I thought this was a clever idea. Is
Go
she hires people who have got exactly the same body shape as her.
Dimensions.
Oh, don't we all? no, but she does. And I mean, are they easy to find? Because
Oh, centaurs. They're
she's
all
got a
everywhere.
she's got a fairly unique
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, she hires these people, so they're exactly the same dimensions as her. And they go and try on clothes and
Yeah.
stuff for her to make sure they fit. I mean,
And then they
if
take
you're
pictures.
busy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're
It's-
busy, it's a great idea.
Well,
It's a great
it's
idea.
the concept of it. They're called fit models.
Oh, she's
Oh,
not
are
the
they?
first one.
Well, she is the first solo human being to do this because
Oh, okay.
ordinarily fit models are a thing in the fashion industry. When I say fit models,
I've been talking about fit models for years, to be fair.
Are there any other type of models? Oh, there's those ones that do the full face crash helmets. Sorry.
fit models.
This has got a bit 1970s. Maybe not 1970s, but maybe early 80s.
Yeah, but
90s.
It's quite
90s.
reassuringly new, lads.
Oh, 90s, yeah, it is a
Quite
bit.
new.
I'll
lad?
give you EG, like there's some fit models in that lads mag this month.
Well, hey, don't
Yeah.
be bacon, Sonny.
Yeah, exactly.
So, fit models are used by designers at the prototype kind of stage.
Okay.
To see how things like hand to pocket ratio, how the fabric drapes.
Hand to pocket. What,
Yeah,
to make
to
sure
see
their
if you're-
hands fit in the pocket.
To see how it looks, the
No.
garment looks on.
Oh no, I'm on about if it fits.
To
You
see
don't want
how
to
it
make
would
a
hang.
you don't want to make a pocket and then they can't get a hand in.
No, I mean if
No.
the pocket's positioned in the correct
You
place.
know those
for example.
T-shirts you get with a really, really tiny breast pocket? I mean, what
What's
do
the
you
point?
put in there? Has
Yeah,
anyone ever put their hand in one of those pockets? Just
Don't
put
you
them in.
find it disappointing?
Couple of polo
Those-
mints.
What do you put?
That's
Can you
it.
put in there a pencil?
Why do they have to spoil the whole line of the thing?
Don't like them.
They're more of a
I agree.
crest than a pocket.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wouldn't take a 50p piece, some of them. Anyway, that's
Well, it depends
not-
who's wearing them. In fairness, but yeah. So that's a thing.
I imagine her dimensions are a bit. It'd be hard to get stuff just off the peg, maybe.
Well, she's
Maybe.
not sample size. No, I wouldn't have thought.
Do you remember that? I've already done one old joke today about maid of. Do you remember the one about a man with a humpback goes into a tailor's and said, "I want to buy a jacket." And the guy said, "What made to measure?" He said, "No, I'm just hoping to get one off the peg, if you got one."
Yeah.
And the bloke says, "Well, we'll have a look, but if I find one that fits you, I'm going to have to sack somebody." It's going to be a bit like that with Kim Kardashian. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think she looks great. But,
I think she looks great.
Well, I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
But I do.
We're all fans.
I found it a bit odd though when she was saying things like, if Kanye, she said, I get all my inspiration from my husband. She says he'll tell me what I can
All
wear.
of it.
I know. It's a bit 1954.
Not what, but yeah, but he's got a clothes line, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't mean he's got a clothes line. I mean, I imagine they've
Hey,
got.
can you pass me those pants?
Yeah,
I need to hang them out.
Quick, while it's sunny.
I imagine they've got a Hills hoist in their garden. But
Can you imagine if you had a fit model these days, Frank, with your new fashion
I
thin look?
I have got a fit model.
Gandhi, Mahatma, not David.
No,
these days.
Sid Little has been trying on my clothes
Oh,
for
good.
years.
Good shout.
I've told him to stop, but he won't. So, many's the time I've walked into a dressing room and gone, Sid, come on, get out. Get those off and get out. All right, Frank, I was just... I know you were. No, I would. It's a brilliant... I mean, if you're really busy, which I'm guessing Kim is rushed off her feet,
I reckon.
to get someone your exact size to go and try stuff on, especially if
Really
they look
useful.
like you, they can see if it,
Yeah.
if it suits.
Yeah, but the pressure to maintain the same body type. Do you know what I mean? Well, if someone, because then the fit model has got to live their life
Still find
according
it
to
distracting
you.
them
Well,
being
not
called fit
necessarily.
models.
Yeah, if you put on half a stone, the fit model's got to do the same.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You see?
No,
Yeah.
but I imagine none of it. They're not actually the same shape as Kim. They just have a lot of
No,
stuff
they're-
in their pocket.
I think
And you can always put a bit more in if you have to.
I think they do. I think the fit models have to go up in size. So
Yeah,
so
they
end
do.
up like
You have
Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. They're eating pasta and ice cream to put on
That's
weight
what
for the
happened
role.
to Gemma Collins, GC, when she wore that tangerine-coloured outfit
Oh,
with the
yeah.
shoulders. I think Andre the Giant's fit model she must have used. That's what happened.
I don't know what to say.
No, the shoulders were big.
No, the shoulders were enormous.
It was a direct reference to the shoulders, Frank.
That was a glory. Apparently, there was lots of parrots writing in about if they could live on those shoulders in the GC.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it have been great if she'd had like 6 parrots on each shoulder? Would be good. I mean, wow. Why didn't she? That's when these people need advice.
Yeah.
From a publicist. She would have been in every newspaper in the country, the GC, Gemma Collins, if she'd had 6 parrots.
Yeah.
Too late now. Moment's gone.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I've got some parking light news from 715.
We were asking earlier, or I was asking, whatever happened to the parking light?
Yeah. Still have them. If you leave your indicator, that side's brake light is left on when the key is out. So I think there is...
So every car has one.
I think so.
Can I just
mean,
say,
that's
what
not-
about people who've never heard this show just tuning in, thinking
Yeah.
it's a radio show about cars and brake lights?
Well, look how well Top Gear's done.
Well, did.
Yeah.
It's still on? Oh, yes,
I
on the
think
other
it-
ones.
Yeah, I
isn't
think it still does all
Also
right.
got an out-of-date joke update. You know, you were doing jokes that date.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you were.
No, I was talking
No,
about...
intentionally, in
No,
fairness.
I was talking about jokes
I was keeping that vague on purpose.
that
just
go out of date.
Just trolling Frank there. How do you get a peanut out of your ear? Pour in some chocolate and it comes out a treat.
Yeah.
They continue. Alas, treats are now M&M's. Joke ruined. Gary Chatterton.
Yes.
Was Treats of Chocolates then? Was that a time? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Used to be called.
Oh, I remember
treats.
that. I just
Yeah,
pretending to be
that's
young, of
true.
course,
I've
I
had
remember.
various jokes go out of date from technology, and in fact on my last tour I did a joke about if you don't believe that some technology jokes go out of date, check MySpace. Hey?
Oh, is that
There
gone
you go.
now,
No, it's not gone, but it was a little joke.
You know you're
yeah.
old, eh?
you
Polly Rothwell Byrne, one of our regulars, Frank.
Polly Rothwell Byrne. Ooh, Polly Rothwell Byrne. Ooh, her friendship we don't spurn.
Very good.
Ooh, she's never on the turn. Ooh, we like her very much, although she's slightly butch. No, can we say that? I don't know. She might not be.
Let's hope Polly Rothwell Byrne isn't.
Well, let's hope she is. I like that in a woman. Oh, why can't a woman diddle it be more like a man? Well, that came true, Rex. Turns out Rex Harrison, a sort of Nostradamus figure.
Hister. Polly Rothwell Byrne says the Queen has had fit models. fit models, I
Yeah.
should say, not fit models, since the 1950s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
See, the first way you read that, it made the Queen sound like a sort of a Hugh Hefner figure with just fit models around her
Can I
house.
just say, I've just checked, Polly Rathwellburn
Oh, yeah.
is, she follows the Nazarene.
Does she?
Yes.
Okay. My kind. So, yeah, the Queen, that makes sense, you see, very busy. And so you
Yeah.
get some little old ladies who are the same shape as the Queen. And like that
Yeah.
woman that had the dogs in Trompton.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why the Queen wears a lot of foam.
I love that woman with the dog. She's a bit #life goals for me
What was she
as
called?
I enter
Mrs.
the last chapter of my life.
Yeah.
What
Well,
was her
let's
name?
not go that far.
Someone can look that up.
Perhaps you are a little nearer the grave than the cradle.
Yes.
But, you know, we
I'm
all
quite
are.
okay with that.
We all are, dear.
What about if I could be the Queen's fit model? I think because she's small.
She is, yeah. I can't... It's hard to know what the Queen's body is like. Because she doesn't really wear...
Queen's bod?
Yeah, you don't see her in really tight stuff.
Not often.
No, she's not one for the tight. I've never...
She's in like bodycon.
I have never seen the Queen in a cat suit of any kind.
Not even a onesie.
No.
Nothing.
But
In fact, she's quite formal thinking about it.
she is formal.
Isn't she?
She is. I bet the Queen has never said we don't stand on ceremony here. No, she's a formal woman. Of
Yeah.
course, I've had a relaxed chat with her recently, as you know. But I never. I
And she
didn't.
repeatedly shouted Frank at you.
It
She
wasn't-
said,
I
well, tell
didn't-
me exactly what she said.
Well, let's not revise that. But
Well,
she,
I wasn't here for it. I'd
she
just like
did.
to know what she said again, the words.
Well, I was backstage. I was supposed to go on stage. I hadn't noticed everyone else was gone because I was still reeling from chatting to the Queen in the wings.
This is during Queen's birthday celebrations, by the
Yeah.
way.
And she suddenly went, "Come on, Frank, hurry up, Frank!" And it was quite a shocking moment, but I didn't have enough time to get a tape measure out, if that's what you're going to ask me. I say, "What are you, about a 12? How dare you!" You'll have to ask Norman Rockwell. Oh, he's dead. Don't tell him he's dead. Is it Rockwell or Hartnell?
Hartnell.
Oh, sorry.
What is it?
Norman Rockwell drew the cover of the, I think it was the New Yorker magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a terrible bit.
I like it.
Terrible.
I like
you know
it.
what I did? I
What can we call
misspoke.
this? Frank, I want to call this link the Rockwell Files.
Yeah,
Oh, very good.
Okay.
I think that's okay. But
Okay.
I mean, when's... I believe, if I remember the Absolute Radio regulations, that if you mix up Norman Rockwell and Norman Hartnell on air, that's a sackable offence.
Oh, well, let's hope they're not listening.
Maybe that was William Hartnell. And
William Hartnell
William
was Doctor
Shatner.
Who.
I know that. That I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Does the Queen know that? I don't think so.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website if that's your fancy.
Yeah.
It is.
So I'll tell you on the just going back to the fit model who you hired to try clothes on for
Yeah,
you.
that's what he means. Can we just absolutely clarify?
It's not a million miles away from the body double that people use in films.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I've always found that incredibly strange.
Have you?
Well, there's a thing called viewer trust in television. So if I did a documentary with Lee Mack, and we had to travel across Europe, but we weren't allowed to fly, so we had to do it all by land and sea. And there's a time we'll be on schedule, and we said, "Oh God, you know what? We won't get that connection, and blah blah blah. What if we got a helicopter or something?" And they said, "Well, we'd have to tell the viewers because now you have to be upfront with the viewers." It's the old Blue Peter
yeah.
name this Poppy days. You have to be totally honest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes on Come Dine With Me, Frank, they put up a caption saying, we filmed this in a hotel or a rented apartment.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because people were pretending it was their house.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Well, it's like when comedians use writers and they call them programme associates.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's like when comedians say, this happened to me the other day and it was 7 years ago or never.
That's
or...
all right, because the other
No.
day is a catch-all.
Yeah.
It's when what you're saying is you don't mind them using programme associates, but they should be upfront about it.
They should be called writers.
Do you think
Yeah.
when they go on the panel shows and they've had a writer in, let's say, to prep for their appearance, they should just have a little caption permanently throughout the show saying writer assisted?
No, I think every joke they do, that writer's name should come up.
Like a little bell.
I think that would be fair.
Yeah, I agree.
But are people arriving at the studios and saying, I'm sorry, I can't do the bedroom scene today because my behind couldn't get a babysitter? It's a ridiculous situation to be in.
Yeah.
So I think that should be... That's just... it's a lie.
Yeah.
I've often wondered how impressionists
often?
can cope when they've got a cold. You know, like, if I've got a cold, I don't feel like my stand-up is quite the same. But if I was an impressionist, I'd really worry about doing gigs with a cold.
I think they have special shows where they do impressions of famous people with colds.
Like 3 times a year or so.
Yeah, that's it. It's the with colds.
But if you're
show.
like a bum double, as it were, like when you said that my bottom
Yeah.
can't, what if they get a pimple or they wear pants that are too
Oh, they're
tight
finished.
and it leaves a mark?
Oh, they're
Like,
absolutely
Is
finished.
that it?
oh dear.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
that sounds
you
too
gotta.
precarious a
I
world
couldn't live
for
on
me
the
to
edge
go
like
into.
that.
You get those hand models, don't you, that do...
Oh yeah, I think I could have been a hand model in my youth, but my
Oh,
hands
you've
aren't
got
as
lovely
nice now.
hands, Al.
Although my wife mocked them for being hairy the other day.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay. I quite like them.
Hurt my
It's a cruel
feelings.
business, the long-term relationship.
Yes. Agreed.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What were you talking about earlier? Oh, you were talking about body doubles.
yeah.
The idea of hiring or someone being hired to, essentially to... Do they perform stunts, the body doubles, then?
I think it's just for close-ups. They use them a
Okay.
lot in what I would call the bedroom scenes.
Yeah, and sometimes they just try on clothes for Kim Kardashian or the Queen.
I've used one for driving.
Have you?
Not because I can't drive, but because it's just more expensive to keep me hanging around if it's a night drive.
Oh, is that
So
right?
I was once leaving before a night drive, and I remember the horror of going past the makeup Winnebago, and there was a young man in there having a very grey wig fitted, and I thought, I wonder what I wonder what part he's playing. And I think that was when it first struck me. Like a friend who said to me, he's leaning on the back 2 legs of a chair, and he suddenly felt the cold of the wall against the top of his head, and that's when he knew he'd got a ball pack. And that's when I saw the grey hair. I thought, oh, it was like a Des Lynam
Harold
type wig.
Macmillan, the later years.
Yeah,
He was going
exactly.
to play you whilst driving.
He
is
was
that-
just going to drive around for wide shots.
What about it's
Oh,
more expensive
right.
to keep him hanging around? He charges
Yeah.
he's on nights. He charges by the hour.
It's kind of a big deal.
I tell you
know,
what I
it's
did.
Going back a bit.
If we're talking outsourcing, as I believe they call it in America,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I attempted once, I mean, in my defence, which I feel I have to rush to immediately, I was in my 20s
Okay.
and I'd met a character on holiday and we'd enjoyed a brief romance. I
Okay.
say romance, bit of a hookup. And
Legend.
Yeah.
he
Both.
was a lovely chap, Irish chap, looked like Colin Farrell on holiday.
Oh.
Came back without the tan.
Not so much.
I wasn't feeling it, Frank.
No, it
Looked
can.
more like Terry Wogan when he got back.
More like Colin Baker.
I had an Irish driver who said to
Yeah.
me, never start a relationship
Well-
in the summer because everyone looks good with a tan. But now, of course, tans are available the whole year
I
round.
know.
Yeah.
But he'd lost his Michael Sheen. He'd
Yeah.
lost something, 10% had gone off. So
I think it's also, where was the holiday?
it was in Turkey.
See, that's the other thing. It's the glamour and the exotic
The glamour
thing.
of the package
Glamour of
tour.
Turkey.
But
That's for sure.
I didn't want to meet him. I'd made my mind up. And when I'd made my mind up, that's it.
Yeah.
And the office PA at the time, I was working in newspapers, I didn't want to meet him. And I asked her, I said, can you Can you call him and tell him
Brilliant.
that I don't want to meet him and I'm not going to be around?
You got someone to dump him for you.
Well, she refused.
Oh, did
She said, do you know, she nearly...
So you had
and
to sack her.
She said, yeah, but you know, she said, I'm not dumping guys for you, Emily.
She was your assistant.
Yeah. Which made me...
I bet she didn't last long.
No, obviously, she was
If
sacked
I was
immediately,
her,
but...
I would have seized the opportunity and then I would have taken that opportunity to maybe slag you off to him a bit, knowing that he would be,
a
on
receptive
site.
audience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what better opportunity?
So she refused.
Ooh.
But I always thought, well, actually, I would happily do that for someone.
I think
Yeah.
that.
Would you do that, Lizzie?
I'd do it. I'd do it for someone
Lizzie
who.
would do it, everyone, just in case anyone has any business that needs taken care of.
I'd do it as a practical joke for someone who didn't want to split up with that person. But you know, we're all different. I'll tell you what I'd really like. If
Quite a mean practical joke.
If
Bit
I
high
could,
risk as well.
yeah. In fact, I did it. I did it to Boris Johnson this week.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a Trumpton update.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about the lady with the dogs. Do you
Mrs.
remember?
Honeyman.
Miss Lovelace
Oh.
and the dogs Mitzi, Daphne, and Lulu.
Wow. Who was Miss Honeyman then?
Oh, sounds like someone else from your past.
I think she sold the flowers in one of those programs.
I don't know what any of this conversation is about.
Okay, well, just stay out of it then. Just tell
Probably
us
best I don't
what
join
menial
in.
task you would have
Yeah,
done.
you do the menial stuff, okay?
No, you want someone else to do the menial.
I'm really happy to have people do menial tasks, like loads of them. There's a book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, where
I've
apparently you're
heard of
supposed
it.
to do your own motorcycle maintenance and
Yeah.
get a lot of.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you got someone to read it to you.
It was a very, it was the student book of the 70s.
It
Yeah,
was,
I would
yeah.
say.
yeah.
Have you read it?
No.
It's a self-help, is it?
No, I think it's sort of. I think it's philosophy smuggled in through some story about
Yeah.
motorcycle.
I think it's
maintenance.
a self-help.
I don't
Yeah.
think it is. I don't think it
Alan's
is.
looking shifty.
I've never read it,
Oh, okay.
but I
Oh, well,
have
But
recently.
you're happy to strongly tell me it isn't a self-help.
No, I'm not.
I haven't read it either.
I said I think
Who's
it's
read it?
Look,
philosophy.
nobody's read it, okay?
Nobody's read
Probably
it.
just
Everyone
a
bought it
manual.
and sat it on there.
Somebody's buying it, is all I'm
Anyway,
saying.
last week I needed to change the battery on my motorcycle because I hadn't used it. And I texted the guy who taught me to motorcycle, who's...
Well, it's battery operated.
No, it's got a battery in it to start it.
Like my evil
okay.
Knievel toy.
Cars have batteries as well, Frank. I know I'm the motoring correspondent, but this is entry level
I
stuff.
don't ever think of motorbikes as...
Yeah, they have a
No.
battery and a fuel bit. I'm not an expert,
when you
but
buy
this is
them,
what they've got.
are batteries included?
Yeah, batteries are included.
The
that's
Christmas Day disappointment when
They
you
do
find out
go-
you can't drive it.
They do go flat through misuse or through lack of
Don't we
use,
all
rather.
do?
And I hadn't used it, so I sent a message to my instructor saying, "Oh God, I need to get the battery changed, or I need to change the battery for the dealership." Blah blah blah. Just a boring message, and he sent me a reply saying, "So I read your text like this: if you let a comedian change the battery, ultimately the NHS will foot the bill. Can you come and put the new battery on for me at 2 p.m. this afternoon?" So he came and did it for me. I mean, way too qualified to come and
Lovely.
change. And he did it really thoroughly.
I bet he did.
In a way
Yeah,
that I
I bet
would
he
not.
did.
And it involved removing like 8 or
I bet
10
he did, but it's
screws
a
and
bit
then putting them back. Yeah, he was really good.
Well, he would be.
Okay.
And I didn't lift a finger.
Did you,
I made a tea.
Do you get him a drink?
I made a tea and gave him biscuits.
Did you put a tenner in his... Force a tenner in his pocket?
No,
Can
he
you
wouldn't.
anything?
He wouldn't take. I gave him the money
You
for
mean he
the
wouldn't
battery
take
that
it
he
like
brought.
you had the chance to find out?
That's why Al likes it when people wear those T-shirts with the narrow poche,
Yeah.
because then the tenner doesn't quite fit in
Oh,
there.
Yeah, actually, I
Okay.
had bike gear with a lot of pockets on, but I didn't try.
Oh, a lot of zips. yeah.
I would like someone to come in and just tidy up a bit before the cleaner comes.
It's a great idea.
Because I end up doing that.
Yeah.
And it really annoys me.
Yeah.
In fact, there's sometimes you say, "Oh, she can't come this week," and I think, "Oh, brilliant! I don't have to do that tidy up before she comes."
Yeah. The sort of this is how I normally live.
I need a pre-cleaner. Is
Yeah.
what I need.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, she's never seen how I actually live. She
Well,
wouldn't
she
come
did.
again. I've already lost one to 007. and that's not a house number. So no, I have to.
That would be a very thorough street if there was a house number 007 instead of just 7.
Yeah. Well,
Street that's got 100 houses on it.
Yeah.
when I lived with David Baddiel, the cleaner just wouldn't do my room.
Oh.
She just wouldn't even go in my room. It was so bad.
What about David Baddiel?
No, his room was much tidier, to be fair.
Oh, lovely. Immaculate.
Anyway, it's enough wandering down memory lane. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death.
It's
I
a
think
tale
you'll
told
find.
by an idiot.
It is a tale told by an idiot. So much. I was thinking of an example of that. There's so many now on the telly.
There's so many.
No, it's not even worth mentioning. You can fill
No.
your own thing in. It's one of these ones I'm trapped at the end of a thing. I don't feel I can quite
Oh, is
get
it, darling?
You know when you
Oh.
get trapped in a link?
Oh, well, I can tell you that somebody feels really helped.
Oh, good.
165. Hi, Frank. Fascinating to hear the theory that skipping crawling affected your sense of direction. Both my son and I also went straight from sitting to walking and have a terrible sense of direction. Only yesterday, I took a wrong turn trying to find an address and ended up coming out of a different lane near my son's school. Having driven past this lane many times, I knew this was where I must be, but for the life of me, I couldn't visualise which way I should turn based on my normal direction of travel. You're not alone.
Well, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
I am often alone because often the people I'm meeting are somewhere else. That's it, we're out.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
There's been some outrage on the internet this week.
What? I've never heard
I
talk.
I know. It's not normally a place people go for
People are
outrage.
so- When's the last time you were outraged?
I don't think I've ever been outraged.
What is it with people getting outraged?
It's very popular now. It's a real.
It's
Oh,
It's a real
people love
vogue.
being
it's
outraged.
the thing. It really is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Al, but we've just had some breaking
Outraged.
news from Jane Mitchell, Frank, breaking Trumpton news.
Yeah.
Mrs. Honeyman was a Camberwick Green character.
Okay.
Is that Trumpton? Camberwick Green?
It's all the same.
And she was billed as the village gossip. There you go.
So I don't
Okay.
think that is the flower seller.
No, I'll stay the flower seller. Someone else can be village gossip.
Yeah, she had very sort of quick music to suggest quick chatter, I remember.
Oh, excellent.
Still
Okay.
don't
As you
know
were.
what this chat's about.
That's
Still
all right,
don't.
darling.
Well, neither do 80% of our
No.
listeners.
Oh. As you were.
We were discussing Twitter outrage and other internet outrage.
Yeah.
Basically, a female spectator at the US Open tennis has gone viral after dipping chicken. She had I suppose it's like a chicken dipper.
It was a nugget, I think they
It looked like
described
a
it.
big nugget, and she dipped it in some Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
into
I
a
saw.
into a sugary soft drink.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Not a BBQ sauce or a
No.
ketchup.
It's
Soft
gone.
drink.
It's open inverted commas gone viral. Close.
It's gone
inverted.
viral. Sure
How much
has.
has gone viral? There's no other word for
She
it.
said it was a family tradition.
Did she?
Nice,
Oh, lovely.
nice dad. But to wear a baseball cap. He advised it to cool down food before you ate it,
I think that's.
which I thought was fabulously American, though. There's sort of absence of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Just
I
can't wait
think-
for it to
I
cool.
remember Kath with Boss once. I remember she put, these are my family, my partner and child, and I think she put a boiled potato in a glass of water to cool it down in a restaurant.
Really?
I wasn't happy with that. I don't know if she thought they were soluble, but yes, I wasn't. To me, it just looks. It's a sort of sweet and sour chicken.
Do you think there was people looking across the restaurant going, God, that smoothie looks horrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
looks
don't
like a
think she
potato
left.
in a glass
She
of
didn't
water.
leave it in there. Oh, you mean that thing? Yeah.
Someone's really messed up.
It was like the worst
I know we
kind
juice
of.
everything these days.
Like a Coke float. It was a boiled potato in a glass of water. Yeah, it's a sort of a supermodel's Coke float. Oh, it would have
Yeah.
a potato then, of course.
No.
In
So
fact, a glass of
absolutely
water
ridiculous.
is a supermodel's Coke float. Yeah, so she...
She's a celebrity now. I mean, it's
I
a
tell you what,
curious kind
yeah.
of fame. I bet she's on the next Strictly.
But think of the beautiful grease-based rainbow that would have been left on the surface of that Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Yeah, it might have put me off drinking the Coca-Cola more than
it
eating
would,
the
have
chicken.
it would have been like a Yes album cover. Lovely swirling colours. It would have been. My first thought when I saw this story was I'd like to try that.
Me too.
See what it's
Well, I'm
like.
glad that was your first thought.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then if that works, you could do, I mean, to me,
Everything.
a chicken leg would have made more sense because it's got the handle on the end. It's begging to be dipped. It's like when Achilles was dipped in the sticks and
Just
held
like
by the
that.
ankle.
Yes,
Just like that. I think that's what we
Yeah.
all thought.
And I will try it, but I might try it, in a slight modification.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like that leg of lamb that I'm going to
Oh,
get.
yeah. You have to
Yeah,
get
maybe just put that in a Sprite. See
Yeah.
how that
Sounds
goes.
nice.
I think there's scope for development with it.
Well,
Yeah.
people put honey on gammon, don't they?
You
So it's not a million miles from lamb with Sprite.
Yeah.
I had an idea, by the way, the other day, a fast
Food-based
fast
idea.
food idea.
I love your business ideas.
KFC
Got my
have
pencil
these.
at the ready.
Yeah.
KFC have people cashing in on the KFC craze
Oh, yeah.
by calling themselves things like Southern Fried Chicken and
Yeah.
Dixie Chicken and stuff.
Yeah.
And using
Chicken,
the same colour scheme, hoping
Yeah.
that people, I suppose people who can't read will go in there thinking it's the same shop
Yeah.
and spend money in there.
Yeah. They'll be slightly lured in, as you say.
I mean, I'm not
whether-
saying it's any better or worse, but it's not KFC.
Well, yes,
It's
you
just-
are,
no.
because we know you are a bit of a Colonel fan.
Well, I
Frank.
am, but I haven't tried the the Southern Fried and the
Okay.
Dixie
Yeah.
Chicken and all that. I mean, is it? I don't know. It might be just the same. But
Fried chicken.
I has an idea. What about this for a shop name? McDonald's,
Oh.
Oh, shut up.
Very
which
good.
is
He's so good at titles.
deliberately
He's good at
up
titles.
front, not McDonald's, but like all the same
McDonald's.
stuff, and maybe a bit cheaper.
I wonder
What
if
would
they'd
you do?
sue. I wonder if they'd
What would you
sue.
do instead of the golden arches? You just do a W on it. You just turn it
The
upside down.
fallen
Yeah.
arches.
The fallen
That's a
arches
good idea.
underneath the arches. You know
Yeah,
about that.
the fallen arches would be perfect. I don't know how you'd show that because it's actually a sort of a foot condition.
Yeah, it is.
You don't want to go.
burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love McDonald's.
I think McDonald's has got a future. I really do.
Yes.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, following on from your McDonald's concept,
Yes.
we've had some other they're not suggestions, they're existing, let's call them cheeky little restaurants. Dougie Love has been in touch to say there's a shop in Stockport called
And they called him
Dougie
Dougie
Love.
Love. Shop in Stockport.
That's a pen name, Dougie Love.
No,
don't know.
I
Real
believe it.
name, Mr. Love.
There's a
Mr.
shop in
Loverman.
Stockport. Yeah, that's his personal.
Java.
There was a band leader called Jeff Love, I remember.
All right,
I
yeah.
remember him well. The shop in Stockport called McTucky's Fried Chicken.
Wow.
So they've had the best of both worlds, haven't they?
That has got that, yeah.
It's a beautiful hybrid.
Wow. If I did a pretend McDonald's, it would be McDonald's. But I always thought if I did my own KFC, it would be called Battery Hen. And there'd be a
That's too-
Might
hyphen.
put people off.
It's too harsh.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's battery, though.
995 has
I
said
know, I get
McDonald's could be next to Pretend à Manger.
Ah, yeah.
Good. I went with the French. He didn't spell it like that. I
What
just
about
No,
put it on there.
well
for you.
done.
Thomas Burridge?
Oh, yeah.
I like him. He sounds like a sort of 18th century novelist.
Yeah, he
Doesn't he?
does.
I like
He was
him.
interviewed by Buckley. Is it?
I'm disappointed he isn't Sir Thomas.
Thomas Burridge, your model, sir. He recommends McDonald's in Glasgow for all your fried food / pun needs.
Yeah, that's is that their slogan. It really should be. Anyway, the bottom line is the woman who dipped the chicken in the thing, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, what is cranberry sauce other than sort of thick Coke?
Yeah.
People have been putting sweet stuff on chicken since the old king died. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to us this morning. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Be seeing you.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.